Hey, welcome back to Josh's Smart Home. I've been really bugged by the fact there's a fluorescent light in here that's just on all the time. So I was trying to think about what I should do to resolve that problem. So I think I have the perfect solution. I'm going to use the Shelly 1 PM and I'm going to hook that up so that we can turn the light on or off, and we can utilize things such as motion sensors or door sensors to figure out when we're in the area and it's not on otherwise. So stay tuned as I show you how I hook this up. So the first thing I did was I killed the power so I don't get zapped while I'm doing this, and I did take off the covers on the top and the front of the light. So the next thing I'm going to do is pull out these two screws and open this up, and then I'll be able to get to the wiring in the back and put the Shelly Plus 1 PM in. Alright, I got this opened up, and I've identified this black wire that goes over to this side, and there's a white wire that goes over to that side, and that's how the light is being powered. So let me cut those up and connect the Shelly in line as I need to, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Alright, full disclosure, I'm not a licensed electrician, so make sure that you know what you're doing or you hire a professional. This is all for your entertainment purposes, not supposed to be instructional for you to act upon. That being said and out of the way, I did wire up the Shelly here, and I have the neutral wires both connected in, the one coming in and the one going out to the device. And then I have the live wire coming into the Shelly, and then the output going to the device where I cut the live wire there. So I did get that hooked up, and we're going to get it connected to the app here. All right, I plugged it back in and opened up the Shelly app, and immediately we have a new device found. So let's add the device. And we had a couple other steps there and finished relatively quickly. All right, it says it's ready to go. So I'm just going to hold this up for a second to show you that when I hit the button in the app to turn it on, it does indeed turn on. I will say that I had to play around with it a little bit. I was having a couple of issues. I ended up having to turn the eco mode on for the Shelly. So apparently, I think it's a little capacitor over here for the light because fluorescent light, that type of thing. I think it was just drawing too much, and actually putting the eco mode on made the Shelly draw go down apparently enough that it's working out. All right, now that I got everything back together, I'll show you right in the app. I can just turn it off and turn it back on, and it takes a second and it comes right back on. So I'm going to jump over to Home Assistant and I'll show you what it's like in there. And you can see as soon as I get in Home Assistant into the integrations, it's discovered. So super easy. I can configure it, hit submit, and we'll put it in the basement. So now I'm into the device. I can edit the name, make it soda machine lights. All right, now it's in Home Assistant, so I can go ahead and turn it off and turn it back on. And it's as simple as that, as quick as that. And it'll be pretty easy and simple to create any automations I want. I think I'm going to utilize some of the motion sensors that I'm going to put in this room, as well as some door sensors. So it'll look at any of those, and if they aren't active for a certain period of time, it'll turn it off and maybe use just the motion sensor to turn it on. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to think about that a little bit. So it's been a couple weeks now, and unfortunately, some bad news. It's just not really working. It's been intermittent at times, and other times it just doesn't want to respond at all. And it'll get stuck in this loop of trying to turn on, and it's just been hit or miss since we installed it a few weeks ago. So current update is that the Shelly 1 PM is just not really working for this fluorescent light. I think it's because of that capacitor piece in here. It's trying to draw too much power, and therefore it's causing issues. I actually originally installed the Shelly 1 Mini here and had a lot of the same kind of issues, except for it would never actually power all the way on. It would just sit in that cycle. And that's why I upgraded to the Shelly 1 PM, and I thought that would resolve the issues based on the amps and that type of thing. But as you can see, we are in the dark. And here you can see this is what it does, and it's trying to turn on, and it just sits here. I can hear it clicking, but it's been intermittent, and it'll sort of flash like that, and sometimes it'll eventually turn on. So let's just see how this one goes. Hey, look at that. Eventually, it made it on this time. But again, it's been totally hit or miss. So We're gonna leave it on for now. I didn't even turn it off last time, so I'm not sure what happened when it actually did turn off this time. But there's been other times where I've turned it off and I can get it turned back on, or I can turn it off, and then the next time it doesn't want to turn on at all. Sometimes it turns on right away. It's just totally random what it's doing. But I think it's doing some type of safety overload where it's stopping it, and that's why it's not consistently turning on. But I'm gonna go back to the drawing books about this one. Final thoughts on the Shelly 1PM is that it seems to be really rock solid if you have a situation where you have a device that can be powered easily without anything weird with it. It connected really easy into the app, connected really easy into Home Assistant, and didn't have any issues there. It does go offline when it starts to really act up, but I do think that that's a result of the use case that we have here. So I wouldn't put that against it, and I would consider putting this somewhere else that I think is a more consistent application. But if you're using something odd and unique, I definitely would not recommend the Shelly 1PM for that use case. Thanks for watching today, and I hope you enjoyed the video of the installation of the Shelly here. And make sure you like and subscribe for future videos so you don't miss those.